Good evening, the Greenwood beat WFPG, and I'm Heather the Referea.
I'm Burnie.
Hey, Burnie, what's up?
What's going on?
How's life treating you?
It's all right.
It's all right. What you mean, all right?
I mean, what you want me to say? I'm living out here like everybody else, Life is just all right.
It's been a world of sports out there, and I'll tell you one thing, Burnie. Sister been sick. I've been on the low.
Yeah.
Physically on the low.
Probably because all them beatings you've been taking here in this studio.
No, I doubt that's the problem. I doubt that's the problem. You the one with the whoopings. You the one with the whoopings, baby. Just know that. Just know that. We got a special guest in the house tonight. Before I get to the special guest, let me just say this for starters. I do sound sick because I am still a little on the ugly side of the weather.
You're ugly.
But no, baby, I'm pretty when it's. I'm on the pretty side of weather when it's physically.
Right.
But my insides right now on the ugly side of the weather. So yeah, I do sound a little bit sickly, but I'm here. I'm alive, and that's the most beautiful thing going on in this world. So I can watch sports.
No lie.
Now, so we do got a special guest in the house tonight, and it is Terry Backus. He is the mayor of Greenwood. What's up, Terry?
Hey, how's it going?
Can you move yourself into the mic just a little bit, Terry?
A little bit closer.
Yeah.
It's better.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay. Cause hello? Well, that was the angel coming. Don't tell me.
What was that?
I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
So Terry, we brought you in today. We're gonna do a little bit talking about the portal. One thing I don't like talking about, especially with Burnie. Oh, God, that's a nightmare talking about the portal. But we are gonna talk about the portal.
Okay.
Okay.
That's cool.
Okay.
I'm cool.
But we're gonna
It's been
start.
busy today.
Huh?
It's been real busy.
The portal's been busy.
He watching the portal because he got an important person in the portal. We're gonna talk about that in just a minute.
Well, no, he's not in the portal.
He got to pay attention to the portal.
The portal affects his recruiting.
Exactly.
Right.
And so we want to make sure that people know they need to be paying attention to that too, because that actually is one of the things I think. Well, go back to what I say, and then we'll come back to this conversation. But NIL is the monster of the portal. We'll talk about that in a little bit, though. But first, we're gonna start with this weekend. This past weekend, there was a wrestling tournament. I didn't get to go because I was down for the count. It was a big part of the wrestling match was at the pavilion, and it was girls at this match, and I was actually supposed to go see them, but I just could not get up and get going to make that happen. So I didn't get to see that. I wanted to let Coach Jones or Referee Jones know that because he's going to be complaining that I didn't show up. But I do know this for sure. There is another wrestling match for girls on the 23rd, 24th at the pavilion on the fairgrounds. It's the 69th annual Tulsa National World Wrestling Championship, and we're going to be there so that we can see the girls wrestle, learn a little bit more about wrestling, and then bring the stories to you. Matter of fact, that week I think I'm going to bring the girls in from McLean. There's about 3 or 4 girls that play.
Believe it or not, 60 years ago, but 50 some odd years ago, I wrestled in that same tournament. It was called the Junior Olympics then.
For real?
Yeah.
Wow.
As a kid.
Wow. So you were a wrestler too?
I just wrestled as a kid when I was like 6, 7, 8, 9. So when I started picking up weight, I started going to higher classes. So I kind of got out of it. Guys like Curtis Hawkins was a little bit bigger than I was, and I said, I'm not going to wrestle him. So I started picking up weight. But, yeah, I wrestled alongside Kenny Money, all of us. We all grew up wrestling together.
So back then, there wasn't no girls wrestling, right?
No, it was basically like taboo.
Yeah.
It was taboo.
Yeah.
That just wasn't a thing.
Right.
What do you think about girls wrestling now?
I mean, it's a thing. That's it. It's a thing.
Would you pay it any attention? Would you watch it?
When it comes down my timeline, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
But you're not going to go pay?
I mean, just it by itself, no, probably not.
Okay. Why is that?
But at an event that'll, like what's gonna be showing her in a little bit. From there, yes, I look at it, but I don't know. I don't have a daughter wrestling.
Okay.
Right.
Would your daughter wrestle?
Wrestling, and I was.
No, she'll fight now. She'll fight, but no, she's not. My sweet baby, but she's not gonna wrestle. She's gonna work on a job, but
right.
It's just different. like for me, like I'm not a real big boxing fan, but when Jakari started boxing, the fact that I got into, I supported him. I was at, every day we was in the gym training. So I had a child involved.
Okay.
That's cool.
It is cool.
That's how like I am with boxing. It's crazy because like everybody expects guys to be like totally into boxing. People like, man, you gonna watch this fight? I'm like, I ain't even know there's a fight coming.
Right.
Like,
I don't. Yeah, I know who. You can tell. I grew up with Hearns and Hagler, but
right.
I knew it. I know sports. I didn't forget most sports that most people were gonna know in life. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
right.
Not a big fan of it.
And then I was looking up some stuff on wrestling this week because I told Coach Jones that I was going to show up at the wrestling match. But I looked up D1 colleges that do wrestling. There's only 3.
Yeah.
Presbyterian College, Sacred Heart University, and the University of Iowa. Those are the only major D1s that are doing.
And those ain't even majors. Let's be honest.
For women,
University of Iowa is.
Oh yeah, University of Iowa is the biggest one on that list because I looked it up too, and the University of Iowa.
They're Power 5 company.
Yeah, right. They from the Power 5.
Yeah,
but the other 2
Sacred
colleges,
Heart, they FCS.
Right.
But
the other 2 colleges, nah, it's not even.
They're out of New York, aren't they? Sacred Heart.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
They've been around a long time.
I did read somewhere that Oklahoma has like a major amount of girls that wrestle.
Really?
Which is kind of cool to know. It's just FYI if anybody wanted to know. If you want to move to a state where your daughter needs to wrestle, then you come to Oklahoma.
Man.
I think also in Texas also.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think they have girls wrestling in Texas.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But the thing of it is now is the transgenders get involved with the wrestling, and that's a big thing. Most controversy, and
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It is.
Yeah. And that's a real controversial topic. We are going to come to that topic here soon. We talked about it early on, but we're going to come back to that conversation because we have to.
I mean,
it's part of sports.
Yeah, it's part of sports, but it's a different part of sports.
I feel like they're kind of pulling back on a lot of that though now.
Right.
Like
Well, I think some of that's starting to backfire on.
Right.
On sports, period. Like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They pull back on some of that stuff. Wasn't there a swimmer or something like that? Stuff taken away.
And it was kind of used to threaten girls playing swimming.
Right.
Telling them if they say anything about this girl who once was a guy and he was number 500 and something, and now he's number 1 in the girls. They weren't allowed to say anything. No, you cheating.
Yeah.
You cheating girls.
Right. I agree.
So, but we're going to talk about that. That is controversial, and I will go toe-to-toe with whoever's against that.
Right.
But we'll talk about what I'm for and against.
Ain't no need to go toe-to-toe with nobody. I mean,
but they will.
They're going to change the narrative.
Right.
I mean, people said it ain't mine. It ain't no. This is what I think.
But I'm gonna go to your toe with it.
Right. For no reason.
Yeah, believe that.
Your blood pressure for no reason.
Yeah, that's right. So, top 25 in basketball, women's basketball. Guess who's still at the number 1 spot?
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be there.
10-0.
I think Dawn Staley and her team has won every game, scoring over 100 points.
That don't surprise me.
I think they scored 100 points in every game.
Right.
If not that, at least about 7 or 8 of them they have done it. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
They killing it.
Yeah. They are.
It's supposed to be the best team she ever had.
They didn't win it last year, right?
No,
they got knocked out.
Knocked out.
They got knocked out.
I think that's gonna happen again this year.
So it was Iowa and LSU. How's that young lady from Iowa? How's she doing with Iowa?
Iowa is number 4.
Oh yeah, so they still.
Yeah, they still up there. I don't know if they're gonna be able to pull off. They might make it to the Final Four. I don't know if they'll make it past that.
Can't call it, man. It's college.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think that girl's the only robot on that team, and they got to count on her. Majority. She's a robot. That girl is a robot. Have y'all watched her play?
She be balling though, right?
Yeah. Not to me. I can't stand to watch that. To you.
She a Larry Bird. She a Larry Bird.
No, I don't think she is.
He was sort of robotic, but he could play.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was robotic.
White man can't jump.
I think he could.
White girl can't.
She can't to me. I don't know. I think some more out there I like, but I'm a little bit more of a. She don't play loose to me. That's what I don't like about her style.
The women's game is not above the rim game.
Right.
It's really the women's game is a lot of effort.
Yeah.
They put forth a lot of effort. You know what I'm saying? Like hustle.
Right.
It's more hustle, I believe, than
they
anything.
Have to.
Yeah.
Ain't no lot of athleticism.
No, it's not. Really, it's not. It's not. It's like they just.
It's not.
They don't. They just hustle. They hustle hard. They play hard. They hustle hard.
Right.
I'll let y'all go with that.
I mean,
it's the truth.
They're not just fluid with it. You know what I mean? Like,
it's not.
Curly Neal. There's no Curly Neal.
Yeah.
Like the Harlem Globetrotters. That's probably for your time.
Look up backup singer. You got a backup singer over here. Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
That's it. That's right.
I mean, he dancing with it too.
Hey, I'm playing my position over here. I ain't got to do nothing. Yeah, I got the backup.
Right.
Yeah.
But hey, can I say this?
I enjoyed it. I'm glad it's getting some notoriety, like it's getting with what Angel Reese went through and been through and brought through, and coming along. She came through the portal. And went from Maryland.
Yeah. And
she did her thing, right? And so now, it's a lot of people don't. I'm in a sports group, and only time they really talk about women's sports if it's some controversy.
Yeah.
Even with Sha'Carri, right? Mm-hmm. And I like Sha'Carri. I like her little petiteness.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they, her controversy that just sparks stuff. So with women's sports, not until controversy hit, then we gravitate to it and talk about it, and it'd be something to talk about other than just outright talk about it. You know what I mean? It's good. It's all good. Women's sports is good for sports. Period.
Thank you. That's beautifully said. Hey. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm glad you said that because that was sweet. Somebody else wouldn't have said it that way. I will say this.
Yeah, because I don't agree. I mean, it's just women's basketball. Like I said, I could watch women play anything else. It's just women's basketball that lacks in entertainment value. So
when your niece was playing, did you frequent games?
No, I watch it. Yeah, I go to the games
because you had incentive.
Exactly, I had an incentive to watch it.
Right.
Other than that, I wouldn't have.
Right.
Terry, he dogged my daughter out. Me and my daughter, I was telling him how great Savannah was a player. She was like in the third grade, and he was like, "Oh, she ain't nothing. He had to always be blowing her up. Yeah, you do us." And so we went out too.
Now you got to know how.
There was a gym there was a gym out in Broken Arrow, so I invited him to bring his old raggedy self out there. Right. He gets on the phone after he sees my daughter playing, and he calls Raymond. I ain't gonna never forget. Mm-hmm. She out here splitting.
She's balling. I was shocked. Yeah, I was shocked.
Right.
So, I don't want to hear that.
What?
The women's sports is basketball because there are some. You ain't never just took the time. You only focused on Savannah.
There's nobody else out there to focus on. It's freaking high school.
Right.
Freaking high school girls.
No, and it's in college too. So
no, it ain't nobody to really focus on out there.
Oh, he's a hater. But
tell me how many people was out there that was good enough to watch.
Oh, there was a bunch of them. Melissa was good. Mimi was good.
No. I don't want to talk about names. I'm just saying. You always.
We can do that. We have to. I want to keep this is women's sports and they play. And I'm gonna bring them on. So we got people like Mimi who went to Texas Southern. I'm gonna bring those girls on. They work their way to those levels. We're gonna talk about them, and I'm gonna call their name out.
I get that, but that makes it uncomfortable for me to be able to talk about this the way that I want to talk about it.
Well, talk Talk about it.
Names,
Go ahead.
I don't get to say what I want to say.
Right.
Well, you asked.
No, but I'm just saying, like, literally, there was like nobody out there to really be watching, to really be paying attention to. Most of those girls, I mean, it's just like in high school for boys. Most of them ain't going D1.
Right.
98% of them ain't going D1.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, period. But they a little bit entertaining to watch. You know what I'm saying? You could watch them and be like, oh, they probably gonna go to JUCO somewhere or something like that. But the girls, we don't.
Because you ain't stopped to look.
It's just not entertaining.
To you.
And if it was entertaining, the ticket sales will be there. And that's what I keep saying.
I think it's just
viewership will be there. Everything will be there. It's just not there yet.
We had this conversation
we're at the very beginning of women's basketball. Let's be honest. We're at the very beginning of it. And
I don't think so.
We're pretty much at the very beginning of it. These girls are getting a lot better. They're getting better and better and better. Every year they're getting better and better and better. I think we're at the very beginning. I'm saying right now it doesn't have high entertainment value. But if you give it another 5-10 years, I guarantee it'll be a little bit better. It's gonna be a lot better, I think.
Quez P was on here and we were talking about the sports, women's sports, especially women's basketball. And I didn't get to say this, so I'm gonna say it now. Women's basketball has always been, from the eyes of a man, a sport that women just really couldn't play. It's just like football. So they put us on the half court, between half court, so we played 6-on-6.
I think Oklahoma and Iowa was the
last two. Yeah.
Wow.
And so, and then they did that. My year, that in 1988 was the last year that we played that type of basketball. But I mean, the men even then was saying, I remember Coach Mooney always telling us, oh yeah, they don't want y'all playing no full court because y'all can't handle it. They handicapped us in that sport. Men made those decisions.
I mean, I don't think it was a handicap thing. I think it was just like...
No, we couldn't do it. They handicapped us. I mean, they made rules that said we couldn't do it.
Right.
I mean, it was just the way it was. Right?
That was the way man wanted it.
I mean...
We can't run up and down the court like y'all. And so I think that idea is still in y'all's head to some degree. So that's why y'all don't pay attention.
No, we're looking at this. Go ahead, Terry.
So it's still way the men have it the same way right now. Right?
Yeah, they would.
No, not to make it half court. But men changed the rule. Right?
No.
Who changed the rule?
Women complaining. And the rules was changed.
I don't think they complained.
Oh, women did too complain. Yeah, they could. We were frustrated when we found out we couldn't go full court. Yeah, women were complaining about that.
You could go full court because you just grew up playing.
No, we knew we could go full court. The rules said we couldn't go full court. That's what you missed. The rules said we couldn't go.
Actually, it was Title IX.
No, Title IX was already set up before we even got to not be able to play in 80. I mean, to be able to play in 88. Title IX was in the 60s, the late 60s.
Right, early 70s. But, I mean, I guess I went to school in the 70s. So, it was that long before y'all...
Yes. I was in high school when they were still playing like that.
81, my class, but, yeah, so...
So, I'm going to say this because this was brought up, too, the other day. I was talking to this lady, and she said, I just love your show. I said, well, thank you. I appreciate that. She said, but you don't have any women on your show. That really makes me mad. That's not empowering. Mm-hmm. And I said, men make the show grow. I believe in that.
Right.
And I like the arguing with men because men are so beautiful, but y'all make my head hurt too. And I like arguing with y'all, I ain't gonna lie. But I do have some women that I am gonna bring on the show.
Mm-hmm. We had a woman.
So we had Sally on here, and I want Sally to come back a little bit more often too.
Ooh, Sally.
Sally Perez.
I don't think I know her.
Curly haired white lady. She be down here sometimes on Greenwood talking smack.
I don't know. She's sports enthusiast.
Yes, she is. She's a big old Tennessee fan.
Oh, okay. She Tennessee.
Yeah, her kids went to school with Savannah and RJ at Memorial.
Oh, okay.
Her son is actually a coach at the University of Montana.
Basketball coach?
Yeah, women's sports. Okay. So that's one reason why she comes on. But and her son played basketball at Memorial, and he played baseball, and the daughter played softball, I think.
So I've been noticing, though, for the last 10, 12 years, or even farther, Memorial has been the team in basketball.
Dynasty, especially boys.
And not, you're right,
Yeah.
right. The 918 area code have been, because like the West Side teams, they basically dominate basketball and sports, where the East Side, we dominate in football.
Yeah.
And they dominate in basketball.
Yeah.
Notice that.
Yeah, Memorial's been a dynasty in basketball. Even when I was at Memorial, they was always big in basketball.
Right.
But I just wanted to throw that out there. Women, there will be more women on the show, but I do like the banter that I have with males, because males are super funny when you argue with them. But they don't get mad and want to beat me up afterwards, because we'll leave here and go get something to drink and eat, you know, won't we? Woman, then she'll tell me after the show, I ain't talking to you no more. You dirty dog. You made me sick. I was trying to say something. You cut me out. I didn't want to be bothered, but I am going to bring more women on the show. And young girls on the show, because I got some cool little young girls that I'm going to bring on. I'm going to bring on some middle schoolers, some high school girls, and some college girls. Next couple of weeks, I'm going to have Tanya Motorzinski come on, because she was an athlete. She played college soccer in college, so she'll be on. And that's one of the cool things. Momo.
Hey, that's all right.
Yeah, she'll be on. Then I'll have two coaches, and one out of Mississippi, Candace, out of Mississippi, and then Savannah. Candace is a coach at a high school in Mississippi, and Savannah and Katera are coaches at Auburn University. So I'm going to have them come, and they're going to all talk about not playing anymore and being coaches. So we're going to have women come in from all avenues, but right now, I have been a little male heavy, and I'm gonna loosen up a little bit more.
I want to say something though, real quick. Well, because I think it gets crazy when we're talking about these women's basketball. So, because I want to say this one thing, I don't want to take nothing away from the women and the girls that are out there playing basketball, because I know they playing hard. You know, they playing hard. You know, they are. They giving all they got. They doing everything that they need to be doing. You know, they trying to get to college and things like that. It's fun for them to be active. You know, it's the same thing with the boys. But it sounds a little harsh when I'm saying it, talking about the entertainment value isn't there. I don't want to take anything away from their value. They're not invaluable. They don't have less value. They are out there hustling. They hustling just as hard, if not harder, than the boys. Right. You know what I'm saying, at the high school and college level. So I just want to say that. Right. You know, I still stand by what I say, but I just want to make sure that I'm not invaluing, you know what I'm saying, invalidating them, or making it seem like, you know, like they don't need to be even playing.
They're not worthy.
Yeah, like they're not worthy.
But they are worthy.
They are, you know what I'm saying? And so I just want to say, you know, I still give them props for getting out there hustling and everything, because they doing what they do. Right. Yeah. You know, so I don't want to take anything away from that part.
Okay, I appreciate that. You redeemed yourself just a little bit. Just a little bit. And then back to the top 25 right quick. I am going to say this. TCU has made the list. North Carolina, Creighton, Washington. Some have dropped off. Tennessee. I think both of the Oklahoma schools have fell off the.
So it's Stanford still. Stanford
is on there. Stanford a couple of weeks wasn't even on the list. Now they number 9.
So the West Coast. I want to ask this. So Stanford always, you know, for the last 10, 12, 13, you know, some odd years, it's been Stanford.
Yep.
Has there been any other West Coast teams or teams west of the Mississippi passed over the Colorado Rockies? Over the Rockies.
Like Fresno?
UCLA? No, Fresno State for women ain't been on there.
They haven't? They've historically been a good women's program.
UCLA?
They've been having.
UCLA has always been.
They on top.
I know USC.
They haven't been there in a while.
Was in the 80s with
Cynthia Cooper.
Well,
she wasn't in the 80s.
Cynthia Cooper went to USC?
Yeah.
But she wasn't in the 80s, though. She was in the 90s, wasn't she?
No, I thought she was in the 80s. She played pro in the 90s.
So what about, you know what I'm talking about, Cheryl?
Cheryl Swoop?
No,
Miller. Okay.
Miller. They haven't really been a power since she's left, right?
Which one? USC?
USC.
No, I think they have been. Yeah, USC has been there, but they haven't had like a major strong. Colorado's on there.
Right now.
Colorado's on there. Utah's on there, which shocks the heck out of me. Yeah. Like, who goes to Utah?
A lot of people go to Utah. They recruit They're recruiting different now.
Hey, you want to get your school paid for? You go to Utah.
Right.
Well, that's true. That's true.
How about Colorado State?
Nope.
I have a distant cousin that played at Cal. Now she's at Colorado State playing. I can't think of her name, but yeah.
Southern Cal is on there.
Southern Cal. So they on there.
Yep.
I just wondering.
And then Iowa.
I just wanted, compared to the South, teams in the South like Georgia, the South Carolinas, the LSUs, the Tennessees, those teams, they've been, dominant,
and they still
in the recent history.
They're still there.
They're still hanging on.
North Carolina.
Right.
Yeah.
See?
South Carolina, North Carolina State's on there.
Right. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those teams in the South, they dominating. It's that same way, actually, really in football as well, the Southeast Conference. It's just that like those people out of the South seem like they're just hungrier to succeed in sports.
Yeah, because
you got the East Coast too to be in there. You got the UConn,
ACC, and the
where's Vanderbilt at? Ain't that
Vanderbilt is SEC. It's in Tennessee.
Us in Tennessee, that's right.
Vanderbilt is a SEC school.
Right, it's a private school.
Yeah, so SEC is like major dominant when it comes to women's sports. Period.
Right.
So
you would do real well in softball. They're gonna dominate SEC, I think, still in softball too.
You think so?
Yeah, they will.
I don't know.
But why wouldn't they? They've been winning the championships the last 3 years.
True.
So I'm sure they just beat who they beat. They beat a team that was a Southeast Conference team, I think, in the championship game.
Did they? Yeah. Who?
I don't know.
I remember watching this. I can't remember.
When they made their run, I'm pulling for them.
I think I remember this. Wasn't Auburn in that?
They might have been, but
I think you played Auburn. I can't remember. But yeah, the SEC is still the most dominant.
For women's sports.
Yeah.
Clemson.
Clemson, that ain't SEC.
I believe Clemson SEC?
No, Clemson is ACC.
ACC, Athletic Coast Conference.
Yeah.
Athletic Coast Conference.
So, with that being said, we know what the top 25 is. Now we got to get into this the portal. That's one reason why we brought the mayor of Greenwood on. Some people don't know that Terry is actually the mayor of Greenwood. And the reason why I gave him that name, I got to say this don't have nothing to do with sports, but me and him used to be sitting out on Greenwood like two drunks, Ned's wino down in the deep end. And people would just be walking past and we could recognize that they weren't from Tulsa. And he'd be like, hey, where you from? And then they'd be like, I'm from Australia. Yeah. Well, did you know that down the way? And Terry would take him on a tour and act like he the mayor, know. And so I just gave him that title.
Right.
So the mayor of Greenwood is here, and the mayor has a son that plays football. And I know that he has a daughter. Right. She doesn't play sports, but because his son plays sports at OSU, he's a football player.
No, Owasso.
Owasso, yeah, I said OSU. Owasso. And since we've been talking about the portal, I thought it was kind of cool to talk about what's happening with him in the portal, because that affects women's sports as well. People need to be paying attention to that portal. How often do you pay attention to the portal?
Daily. Daily. So, like, December the 4th, I believe the portal opened up. And so that allowed players to go in and declare that they're going in the portal, declare that they're transferring. And so with that, once they get in the portal, they are being recruited again. So now colleges are looking, if you're not, I'm going to cut through the trace. If you're not a 5 or a 4-star, you know what I'm saying, the portal going to hinder your recruitment, right? Because those other past 4 and 5 stars are now in the portal.
Yeah.
And they have played some college ball. They have been in some type of college structure.
Right.
So they'd rather take a chance on those athletes than a 4'4", 5'9", 160-pound player that's a football player. And they know he's a football player, but they'd rather take the chance on that.
On the one in the portal, right?
Well, no, yeah, they'd rather take a chance on the portal opposed to, like, my son. He's he's 5'9", 160, and if you blink, you're gonna miss him, right? He's just so elusive. But if you don't have certain measurables, right, and so for the longest, if he run that 4.4 or run that 4.3, no problem, right? But we done that, right? And so, but still, there's something else. It's weight now, right?
Right. Yeah, it's always something.
Yes,
it's always something.
Right, but he's a ball player. He's a ball player, but they'll rather take a chance on a kid who's been in a college system and that they feel they can play. That's in the portal.
That's proven. Somebody that's proven.
And to me, there's a guy that came out he was at Mater Dei, and he had committed to go to OU and was a 4- and 5-star running back, one of the top running backs in the nation. When Lincoln Riley was yet still at OU. When Lincoln Riley made a decision to leave OU, he decommitted from OU, and this was a high school student, and he went with Lincoln Riley to USC. Just 2, 3, 4, 5 days ago, he got in the portal because he wasn't getting no playing time, And so now, they killed somebody who might have been on Arizona State board, but they seen him in the portal, and
somebody might move down,
right? And they was able to offer him. I'm sure they offered him some type of NIL compact, right? Whether it was
to come that way,
right, to come that way. So he committed this time to Arizona State, and so we'll see if he's gonna be that guy though.
Yeah.
Right. And so, but he's going to get that money for that 1 year.
Right.
No matter what, they gonna contract him out. Right. And so that's just part of it, man.
Yeah.
It's a difference.
And one thing I did know about the portal, and so a lot of them don't realize this, when you can go to the portal one time.
No, you can go 2.
You can go as many times. You can go one time and it not be a red shirt. I'm gonna use that as an example. A red shirt situation. You ain't got to sit out.
Right.
You go that second time, you sitting down.
No, I think the third time.
No, they changed the rules.
They just changed. Okay, so
you are sitting out.
Because Shiloh was in the portal from South Carolina, and he went to Jackson State. Then he got in the portal again and went to Colorado, and he was able to play.
Yeah.
So he been in it 2 times. So they might have. I guess they did changes from that, but I mean, like, it's people just they jumping in the portal like. It's a guy. He was at OU for 3 years, and I know he's been down in TCU for 2. Yeah. But he's in the portal, so I guess he's doing his grad. But that COVID year too.
Yeah, and that COVID year is another thing that's kind of hijacking the chance for high schoolers to get in too, right. Because these people are now getting the 5th year.
Prime example.
It is your 3rd year time, though. Right. By the way, on the portal, it is. You get your 3rd time is penalized. Your 2 times is not.
It's not. Yeah.
I read recently. So, we'll find out because I got to battle you.
Right.
I just
want to make sure that we're being factual.
So, for example, there's colleges that's offering student athletes out of high school PWOs, which is preferred walk-on, right? And so, what that is they on the board, but because they gonna give that 6-year senior a scholarship. Are they gonna give that 5th-year senior another scholarship that's taken from opportunity for a student to get that scholarship? He had to go earn it. Basically, by the time the semester's over anyway in December, the season is over, the scholarship is gone now for that person. So, that's all. You just have to do a semester, basically. Right. They generally award you. Players generally, when they do preferred walk-on, they generally doesn't last more than 2 years or a year into college that you can do walk-on for 2 years. You're generally able to earn it, as they say. But now with the NIL money, where people's parents would have to pay with that NIL money, they offer that to them too, and that'll go in for the tuition. So it's basically a scholarship. Yeah. PWOs,
Right.
And so,
and there's 2 times that you can go in the portal.
Right.
And I think toward the end of the summer of the season, and then now.
Right. It's now, and then I think it starts back up again in the spring.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, at the end of the basketball season or football season.
At the spring.
They said the majority of the people that use the portal, the majority of the people are football players.
Right.
Yeah.
But there are basketball is a lot of them too.
Right.
And when it comes to women's sports and that, Kim Mulkey is a good example of pulling people out the portal. I think last year
she had about two or three.
She pulled, I think, 7 or 8 out the portal.
Most of her squad.
That's what I'm saying. That's the whole team.
7 of us, because I think the majority of the people, when she came, that was the same year I think she came on board, or it was the second year that she came on and she got them 8.
For them to come together like they done and win a championship, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because like in Colorado this past year, Dion tried to do that same thing.
Yeah.
And so he's still using that same concept.
Yeah.
Right now, if you're not a 5 or 4 star, he ain't recruiting you.
Yeah.
He going in the portal, getting past 4 and past 5 star players. So we're gonna see how cohesive they would be together. You know, can you really just throw a football team together like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make it happen.
And you know, one of the things that I think sometimes parents don't know, and this is kind of what this show is, and I have to say this every now and then on our show, we are the fans in the stands, and so we are parents who have kids that play sports, and so we come from a whole different other perspective. Sometimes the people that sit in the stands with us, you know, they might think they got this good player, but the player don't have things that a coach is looking for.
Right.
And so one thing that I learned when Savannah was playing basketball was you had to be 4 and 5 star for people to pick you up.
Right.
Yes.
And if you was a 3 star, but a lot of the people sitting that are fans in the stands don't even know what that 4 or 5, 3 star stuff mean. Do you know what that is?
It's just a rating system.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a rating, and some of it is overrated as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. So if you see these guys that's 4 and 5 star back in the portal, it's really overrated.
Either they overrated or like they're not getting playing time.
They're not getting playing time, or you couldn't crack.
Yeah.
You couldn't come in and play.
Yeah.
You know.
So is your son rated?
No, he's never been rated.
And you know what? And this is why I tell
He
people.
should have been rated. I think that's my fault. That I didn't take him to more camps when he was younger. If you you take your kids to camp. By the time they juniors, he should be done with camps.
Yeah.
You know, 9th, 10th, you know, camps. 8th grade camps, 7th grade, you know, camps. Get them in those camps, and so that's how it is. Because my son told me when he was going into his 11th grade year, we went to OU. We went down to OU to one of their camps. Of course, they didn't invite us, but we was able to go. And so, like, all the guys that they brought in that they wanted to, I said, Fat Daddy, go over there and work them.
Right.
Work them. And he worked them, but they didn't care. They just cared about the guys that they brought in. Mm-hmm. And so they gave some players, you know, 2 of the things. So we went to eat. He said, Daddy, I don't want to go back because there's another city. He said, I don't want to go back. I said, why? He said, you know, I just got to go get my film.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing. You got to get film too.
Yeah.
You got to get. You got to get on the field.
It's different these days,
right?
Yeah.
You got to get on the field. So his junior year, he got film, right? And he, you know, he did great. He put his name out there, and you know, like I would tell him when he was in the playoffs, they made a heck of a playoff run when he was a junior. And I say, I would always tell him on Twitter. You know, the people be watching. I tag him on Twitter, and I say all the greats made their name in the playoffs.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
And so that's what he done. He made his name, and he doubled his output in touchdowns that he had the whole season in 3 playoff games, or 4 playoff games. You know what I mean?
He put in work,
right? And so now, you know, they know who he is. You know, like I can pull him up right now because I'm still over his Twitter page. But I don't talk. I let him go ahead and talk. I be wanting to talk so bad. Yeah. You know, sound like I'm a kid, but I just let him do his thing. But they know he out there. They know who he is. They look at him like, well, he's undersized, but he can play. Right. That's the difference. And see, the thing you talking about, people in the stands about their kids, coaches really want to look at something that they can't teach. Right. Their speed, they can't teach speed. Right. My son had vision, they can't teach that. You know, he would reverse the field. Coaches, they dread a player reverse it, but he had enough speed, enough footwork. When he reversed the speed, he could pick up another 30 yards. Right. But everybody don't have that. Yeah. Everybody can't do that. Right. Right. So, you know, a kid got to have something that the coaches can't coach. but to make the coach look good like he coaching.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I agree with that.
That's really what it is. The kid has to have something that coaches cannot coach.
Right.
And I mean, and that's in any sport.
Right.
And that's in any sport.
Right.
And that's what I try to make people understand. That 4 or 5, you have to put money in your kids if you're trying to get them to the next level.
Right. You do. You got to spend time. You got to, like for me, like out for here, I know it's over. Right. Like, not him going on. He gonna go on. He gonna play, but the little league to junior high to high school. Man, that was a hell of a run I had with my son. Man, we went places, we did things. Some things I wasn't able to go because I had other commitments that he was able to go and succeed and be in them tournaments. And we went to those tournaments. I mean, for me, like I liked it when he boxed. I used to always tell him, I say, son, boxing will take you farther than football ever would take you.
That's true.
I'm saying, he said, what you mean? I said, you go more places, but he wanted the football. It was something about, because he started out boxing at first. He fought in the world championships, what I'm saying, 2 years running, went to semifinals, so we did those things, he fought in front of 16,000 people as a 9, a 10, 11-year-old kid, you know what I mean? Right. So that don't bother him now. Right. He just want to get out there and do what he know to do. Yeah. That he just gifted to do. Yeah. Right. You know what I mean? Right. And so, I mean, I just try to just do that for him, man. So you parents, y'all out there listening. I know we've probably been talking about that portal, but Well,
that's a part of the portal. I think when you say that they have to have that 4 and 5 and they have to go to these camps, those are steps you have to take. You got to be prepared to pay that money. Right. I always believed in you invest in your kids and you don't have to pay back. Right. So I didn't have to pay for Savannah's college because I paid forward, so I didn't have to in the long run. Right. And so when people, I think people have to know what they need to do. People do better when they know better. Right. So when I realized Savannah needed to be in camps, because not only is it about her being in the camp, but it's about putting her name out there, playing with the best. Because Savannah played with Andrea, I can't think of Andrea's last name, but she's now a sports reporter for ESPN, and Brianna Stewart. She played with all those girls. They were always in Ohio every year. She was just as much as a standout as they were. Right. And I mean, she got good looks from that.
Right. So I'm glad you said that too, because one thing I like that I get most of my gratification from, that my son's peers, the guys that he played against and played with, know that he can play. Right. You know what I mean? Like, know that he can, that he's him. Right. And for me, that's big.
Yeah, it is.
That's big. That I wouldn't curb the news report, because I see them. I said, man, y'all, we know, they know who he is. They wrote stories on him. They know who he is. But them boys that he went up against every Friday night, 7-on-7, when he played 7-on, they knew that he is him. Right. Yeah. Right. And so for me, that's great, man. Because ain't nothing like your peers knowing that you who you are. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's in life, period.
But that's inspiring too.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. And so if recruiters would talk to other players, just flat out talk to them, because a coach might not like, for some reason they don't. For some players, coaches don't help when recruiting.
Yeah, sometimes they don't.
They just don't. I don't know why.
They don't get involved.
No,
they just getting their paycheck and they just whatever.
Right.
Yeah. And they're invested into the kids
and their high school wins.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. Right. And I'm gonna go back a few steps too, because it goes back to the portal, like we're here to talk about. But that 4 and 5 star, it is super important. But there's something I tell parents all the time when they ask me about that 4 and 5 star. When Savannah first got scored, she got scored in Dallas at a Nike camp that was put on by this guy named Gannon Baker. Right. So he had all these big time reporters come in and scouts come in, and they scored these girls. And at that time, Savannah scored a 5. So she was a 5 star. She was number 9 in the country as a point guard. Right. And then She was like number 20 something as a
23 overall. I believe.
yeah, player, something like that. It was something.
By ESPN.
Yeah, by ESPN. She was pretty high.
Right.
And then she went, Gannon Baker invited her to a private camp in Columbus, Ohio. Right. So we went there. And he had I guess a different group of people come in and score. So I tell parents, be careful about if you get the score you want the first time, don't go get scored again.
Right. So that's another thing too. Like when you go to those camps, whether you like, some people don't like to accept the fact that a school coach when they did a laser time that they might do a 4-3 or 4-4. They want to try to see it in the camp. But if you already ran and it's laser, you shouldn't have to run in camps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, but they still want to see you run. I mean, one time my son, when he was going into the 11th grade, he ran my son, when he was in the 8th, he was running like a 4.6 and a 4.7, 4.6, 4.7. And the way Jakari run, he don't run a straight line. It looked like he running a straight line, but he actually running zigzag. Mm-hmm. So when he ran at OSU one time, everybody down there ran down there. They thought he did like a 4.2, but he did a 4.7. But he really did a 4.2, but the zigzag.
Yeah.
Threw him off
The way he runs zigzag.
Oh, okay.
Cause he always,
right.
That's just the way he runs. Mm-hmm. But it looks straight, but it's zigzag. And so that took some,
points. I mean, took some time off,
right?
Yeah.
Just,
or added some.
Yeah. And so, but you're right about that. If they get a good score in the camp,
don't score them again.
Don't do it
because it happened to Savannah.
Don't do it no more.
So we went from Dallas to a 5-star.
Right.
And I don't know what the heck happened when we got to Columbus, but she ended up being a 4-star.
Right.
And they dropped her on ESPN.
Right.
Dropped her. And I was like, what?
Right.
But her coach had said that early on. He was like, I don't know if we should go to Ohio. And I was like, well, he invited her. Let's just go, because I don't want to take away the fact that Gannon Baker invited her, and he is connected to major people. So I was like, nah, let's. But if I'd known that they was really scoring, I wouldn't have done it.
But that wasn't that big of a drop. Now they dropped it to 3. I would, I'll be like, dang, that's.
Yeah, but she want that 5 though.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying.
Take away my baby's 5.
But it was still like, I mean, she's an average of 4.5. I mean,
yeah, but the cool thing was, she landed on front of ESPN. Remember that?
No.
You don't remember she was all over ESPN?
Here's the thing.
I don't remember that.
You don't?
Yeah, I do remember that.
The NFL, the NBA, and maybe the WNBA as well. They don't have that many people, but those organizations is full of 3- and 2-star players.
Yeah.
Full of them.
I don't know about that, brother. I don't know if I can agree with you there.
I know WNBA is not 2s and 3s.
I mean, it's a lot of 3-stars in the NFL. It's a lot.
Man.
Not women's basketball.
I mean, it is.
There's a lot of spots in there's a lot of roster spots in football to fill.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So
it's possible. It's definitely possible.
So even
stars.
I can see that. Like my son, he has D1 talent.
Yeah.
But because of the portal now, that chance of him going out of high school straight to D1, whether it's a FCS or FBS school, the portal has knocked that down.
I still like that though. I still like that. I like the fact that I know it hurts your son, and I know it's just, but
you're seeing the D2s now getting players.
Well, no, it's not just that. I'm saying that like. The portal is good because, back then you get recruited, you go to OU or OSU or whatever, and you got talent and you sitting on the bench behind somebody else for 4 seasons, 3 seasons, 2 seasons,
but with the transfer, you had to wait a whole another year.
And exactly. You know what I'm saying? So now we got the portal, and I think it's better because now you can move around now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It gives the players free agency in college.
It gives them a little free agency. I think it works
to make decisions on their own.
Yeah, so now they can go down to JUCO or they can go to some other college or whatever, and they can do their thing because then they get picked up by the D1 because all the D1s are one. Everybody out the portal.
Yeah.
So now, but then they get to go and prove themselves there.
Right.
Now a top prospect in the portal for that next season.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they got some looks now.
Right.
And so, I think it worked good for them because now they proven themselves, whatever. Now they in the portal. Now they can get those looks that they want. They can get the attention that they wanted out of high school. It's just delayed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But you know what I was thinking too, and I was telling another dad today on the phone because we'll talk, and our sons played on the 7-on-7 teams together, and I was telling him, I was like, you know what though, if a kid do go to a D2 and he do his thing, and the people's coming, they fit to come to him,
right?
But if you don't go, now here's the thing, now you turning down maybe some NIL money. Is this program gonna able to give you NIL money? That's the thing. That's another thing. That's something you don't really like. Hell, is the NIL, the money.
No, I don't.
But if they're able to give you some type of pack of NIL at that D2, that you can stay. Because if they coming, that mean the NFL is coming too.
Right.
And
But but think about it. In some ways, these NIAI, what is it?
NIL?
NAIA.
Just say
NAIA.
NAIA.
Yeah, and you know what? Even Ocho Cinco came out of one, and so did Dennis Rodman, didn't he?
Ocho Cinco was at Langston.
Yeah, I think they came out of
Dennis
school.
Rodman went to, like I was telling Jakari, they Southeast, Southeast State after Durant.
Right.
That might get kids stardom though.
He had a whole thing about 2.5. My son hit him back and said, "Oh, that ain't a problem."
Right. But you got to think though, those cats. We talk about Dennis Rodman and Ocho Cinco. I mean, those ain't 3 stars. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Dennis Rodman killing people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he's killing it in high school.
But
he's 6'9" on top of that. He's not no 6'4".
But think about it this way too.
Guy.
Right.
A lot of people that are 4 and 5 stars don't end up going to a D1 because they never had the grade to get in there.
They go to JUCO.
Yeah, they end up at these JUCOs and then they can't even get into a D1 later on either because of those very reasons.
Right.
There's a girl, she could jump you out the building.
They need to disregard her. If she can jump out the building, they need to disregard her for the sake of the league. For the sake of the league, you got to sacrifice that one. No. Where's she?
But she ended up at Texas A&M.
Can she dunk?
But yeah, she could dunk. The girl was bad.
No, I'm talking about can she? I don't want this Brittany Griner type dunking.
No. This girl was
straight up and down.
This girl had some.
He said because she jumped and
she could jump
like off 2 feet and dunk.
Right. Set it down. You know what I'm saying?
Shalonte's
what's her name?
Shalonte.
She still there?
No, I
don't know.
But I think because of her history in high school and not having good grades and all that kind of stuff, she never made the path to the WNBA. She probably could have been there, but she never had it. I don't even think she ever really got much playing time at Texas A&M because of that same reason.
Right.
So a lot of these good 4 or 5 players never even make it to D1.
Right.
She was one of the few that did, but there's some I know that was major D1s that never could have made it.
I mean, we all know players that should have went to to college at least or to the league.
But the point is, they still
went.
But the point is, somebody still saw those people at that level and snatched them up. Because I can't remember who the girl at Langston is that ended up playing in the WNBA too.
Right.
I can't remember her name.
Hey, it was a little girl that came out of Tahlequah. I can't think of her name. She went and played in the WNBA. She went to Kansas. Did Savannah play during the same era she played? She was.
You're talking about Sequoia. She played for Sequoia in Tahlequah. You talking about Angel? Yeah, Savannah played with Angel.
Yeah, she was tough. Yeah, I used to watch her play because back again, I was dating someone and her daughter played, and so I was going. Right. And
incentive.
So, right.
Angel Goodrich is her name. Angel Goodrich.
Right, Goodrich.
Angel, and you know what?
And my little niece played too at one time. During that same era with Angel and I can't think of that kid's name. Oh Lord, Jariel Dixon.
And so her.
She played.
I think I jacked her mama. Okay, I think I know her. Yeah.
And so, those they played, and Angel was now that little. I don't know if you ever seen her play.
No,
Angel Goodrich.
Now she was.
You probably seen her, just didn't know who she was.
When I was saying about Helen Ball,
right?
She had everything.
Angel, she went to WNBA.
She went to WNBA.
She played for Sequoia High School in Tahlequah.
Right.
And because she's half black, half Indian.
Right.
But she ended up. There's a commercial by the NCAA that they do that talks about most people that play sports in college go on to do other things besides play sports.
Right.
She's a good example of that.
Right.
She's now a firefighter here.
Oh, in Tulsa?
She's a firefighter.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, she could ball.
Right.
Now that girl could beat some guys. She was there because she could handle and because she could shoot.
Right.
She can handle. She can shoot. She can shoot and she can handle. And she had court vision. She had all of it. That little girl had the total package.
She just didn't have nobody she could pass it to, huh?
I mean, she didn't have to. She put the team on her back.
That was a slap.
Hey, Angel Goodrich, wherever you are, I want you to know there was somebody that always advocated for you. And that you could play ball.
Yeah, she's here.
Matter of fact, she's somebody's Hall of Fame in Oklahoma.
Last year, she in Sequoia High Schools, but last year she played. Savannah came here to play in a women's league, and Angel and her, they were on the same team, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
they were on the same team together. But she's a firefighter now. I saw her at one of the games.
Okay.
She doing good.
Right.
But she was one, too, that ended up, the reason why she got her fame, too, goes back.
She was going to them camps, wasn't she?
She was going to camps, but her thing was she played in an Indian school, Sequoia High School. Right. And when people play in Sequoia, the Indians all over the country fly in to watch them play. I don't know if y'all remember the Shiver sisters, the Shibble sisters that played for Louisville.
No.
They played with Angel Goodrich too, and they were big time too. American Indians fly all over the country to watch them girls play.
Right.
Yeah, so they had national attention because of that. Angel Goodrich, anytime she came to Tulsa when she was playing in the WNBA, they sold out.
She played, I thought she played with the Shop.
She might have played with them for a few minutes, but she played for another team.
Okay.
Yeah, she played for another team.
I know she went to Kansas.
Remember the twins, Paris? One of them played for us. I think it was Paris played for us. But I can't remember who Angel Goodrich. She might have played for Tulsa for a little bit, but it wasn't a whole lot.
Angel Goodrich.
Yeah, and then, I didn't mention this earlier in the thing when we were talking, but Kim Mulkey. Kim Mulkey got kicked out of a game yesterday. I got to say something about that. In the portal, and I'm bringing her up because she was like a big go-getter when it comes to that portal. She went there and got a whole bunch of good players and made a national championship last year. But the other day I was watching her. They played Northwestern, and somebody I think they got a charge called on them, and Kim Mulkey went all out on the court.
She go Bobby Knight on them.
Did she coach did she win one with Baylor?
Yeah, she got on that. No.
Yes, she did.
Well, no, they shut her down. Remember, Texas A&M went in there and stole the national. She might have won the year before.
She won. And
Texas A&M went in there and snuck the steal out from under them, and they shut Brittany Griner down.
Well, she won when Brittany was a junior. They won it, I believe.
Maybe so, but Brittany's senior year, they shut Brittany Griner down. And Baylor was predicted to win that year, and Texas A&M came in there and got it out from under them because they shut. And I'll never forget what they did. That's when Savannah's Savannah's head coach at Mississippi State was the person.
I'm going to check your knowledge on this. Who was the team that won a championship? This will be probably before your time, but it was a women's basketball team. I think they might have been out of Louisiana. And this is way before they never was D1, but they won championships. And you ever heard of Delta State?
I have heard of Delta State.
Delta State, they was a power back in the mid 70s, in the late 70s.
No, they would have counted me out. You would have counted me out.
So the only woman ever been drafted in the NBA, first woman, played at Delta State. She just passed within the last year.
Oh, it was a black lady?
Yes.
I remember her.
They won like 3 years in a row.
Yeah, I did see something about her. But what I was going to say is...
So that's how long I've been following
women's basketball. Well, that gives you a plus.
Right.
Big Schaefer was the assistant coach at Texas A&M the year that they stole it out from under Baylor, which you wearing that shirt right now, that stinking Baylor shirt. But Big Schaefer. I like Baylor because of Kim Mulkey.
Right.
But Baylor was overrated to me. And when Texas A&M came and snuck that win out from under them and then won the national championship, and it was not playing that Texas A&M was even getting that far, I was a happy soldier.
So when Texas Tech won it, when I can't think of her name, Swoops, was you following the sport then?
No, I wasn't following no. Back then, no, I was into partying.
You wasn't following it then?
No. But now you can catch me. Hey, you know what, Terry? We're gonna have you come back on the Mayor of Greenwood.
Okay.
Well, our time is coming to an end. And next week we won't be on the air because it's Christmas, and then the weekend after that we won't be on because it's New Year's.
You'll take a 2-week hiatus.
Yeah, and then we'll be back following that week.
Cool.
I think that's when we're going to have our homegirl on, and I think I'm going to have Sally on at that same time. But I want you to come back because we got to finish up this deep talk about this portal because we're going to keep bringing up this portal.
Yeah, because the portal fit to open back up again. It's fit to close on the 20th. When is the 20th? Thursday?
Uh-huh.
No, Wednesday. The 20th is early signing period as well. So guys would sign early. I think even maybe high school girls might sign too. I'm not for sure, but I know in football it's going to be that on the early signing period.
Okay. Well, we're going to have Terry come back on the Mayor of Greenwood. It'll be probably in a few weeks, but this is the Greenwood Beat. I'm the Referea.
I'm Burnie.
And you're listening to the Beat WFPG. Have a good night.
Merry Christmas.